Our main claim to fame is naturally brewed sodas, which are called Soda V. And the way that they started was Benjamin Topol, a good friend of mine, had been scouring the internet looking for authentic recipes for ginger beer and root beers, came across some really obscure things on the internet, some message boards, and made some things. And he brought it over and said, "What do you guys think?" So I tried it, and I was really impressed. I thought it was really good, and I made an idea. I said, why don't you try and mix some herbs in this thing and take out like some of the sugar, and I bet you it'd be a really good mixer or something like that. And serendipitously, somebody had given him a Thai basil plant, and he went and picked some Thai basil leaves, threw it in a bottle, threw some cloves that he saw in his kitchen, threw it in the bottle, brewed it, brought it over, and said, what do you think? And I tried it, and it tasted like I was eating basil. And so I ran over and cut some cheap cooking vodka, poured it in there, tried it, and said, God, that's really good. I think somebody's gonna wanna buy this. And then about 2 weeks later, after a couple more revisions, I said, if you don't start a business, I will. And he looked at me kind of cross-eyed, and I said, let's do this. Let's see what happens. The main fundamental piece of this is the microbiology that's going on in the process. I mean, it's process-driven, basically, is the way to think about it. Similar to a craft beer, we're using a yeast fermentation process that develops character, it develops flavor, it develops carbonation, it consumes sugars, it gives off things like CO2 and gives off ethanol, alcohol. And then there's a second process that happens inside of our bottles called secondary fermentation. Some people would call it bottle conditioning is another term for it. There's lots of different terms in the beer world, and it's bacterial. And essentially what's happening is there's a second wave of microbiology. The bacteria are eating the ethanol from the yeast, they're eating some of the sugars, and they're creating acids that give it a live, bright flavor, but also preserve the product and keep it from being infected by other things that would be bad, like pathogenic bacteria, it's called normally. So in essence, we're using bugs to do all the work for us of taking cucumber juice, ginger juice, lime juice, lemon juice, and converting those things into an effervescent, kind of sparkling beverage, but that at the same time is preserving itself so that we don't have to add any manufactured ingredients or preservatives or things that aren't food. So that's really the process in a nutshell. One of the best things about being small and being local is that we can choose to do different flavors when we want to. We could take advantage of something that's happening in our area that we wouldn't be able to do if we were just thinking nationally or hyper-regionally. So we're gonna make our fall flavor, which is spiced apple, and we did this last year. The apple cider comes into the stores from our local guys, a great company, Lewisburg Cider Mill, there's a couple other ones. And we saw the apple and we said, hey, let's go ahead and make a spiced apple soda and see how it goes, and it was great, fall flavors. So what Benjamin's doing right now is he's steeping different complex blend of herbs and spices, I guess technically is the right term, herbs and spices, in that apple juice to extract the flavor, and then he's going to use that as the flavoring agent for the soda. And so he's going to mix that in, he's going to blend it, we're going to put it into our storage medium, which is kegs. We brew our product, put it into kegs, and then bottle from the kegs on demand as customers need it. Those blue bottles come from Italy, and they're a cobalt blue, and it's a very unique color of glass that I'm now learning about after the fact is extraordinarily unique. It's not common to have blue bottles. And we're determining what we're going to do. It's a very expensive thing to do, to use reusable packaging like that, but it's environmentally sound, it's safer, it doesn't interact with our food, it's got better storage, so glass is definitely the way to go. Let's make it more interesting. So we bought some and we sampled it out there and we got some people to look at them. What we found out is everybody wanted to keep our blue bottles. There's 10,000 blue bottles that were not returned in Kansas City in the last year. If you have a bottle, return them to Get Real Food Company or your nearest retailer, please. Our three main things are it's real food, it has to be something we love, and it has to have a bigger picture than just ourselves. And then we can make decisions based on those guidelines, and that's really our take on it.